Detroit is the greatest!
Straight up light you on fire for a Coney dog right now.
Stafford takes, throws, end zone, Calvin, touchdown, Detroit Lions!
In the air, left field, the Tigers march to the World Series!
Motor City Sports Rant, DetroitSportsPodcast.com. I'm Vinny Stubbs. Sitting across from me is the king, Jason Jarvi. The Tigers, Jason.
Yeah, it's a good day to you, Vinny, as well. I know a lot happened this week with the Tigers.
What is that?
Wouldn't you say?
Is that from today?
I'm pulling up the Periscope.
What's going on?
But yeah, we're on Periscope right now. Anybody who follows the Detroit Sports Podcast on Twitter, they can find the handle. If anybody wants to ask us any questions, I'll keep an eye on the chat. I'll try to keep an eye on the chat and try to answer your questions.
Right.
But let's just start off with how are you doing, Vinny?
Oh, good.
Let's go old school Jim Harbaugh. Oh, it's nice to see you now, Vinny, right?
Yeah.
Is your life in shambles still?
No, it's okay. Damn the Tigers, man. Really.
The Tigers are making your lives in shambles.
They're so shitty.
I wouldn't call them horrible yet.
Oh, my God. They could finish at the bottom of the division.
This week, trade deadlines. What's up? The D-Line Apparel. Thanks a lot. Shout out to those guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, trade deadline.
If I didn't get laid so much, Jason, this Tigers team would put me in a mental institution. I'm not kidding you.
I believe
so
you because you're pretty on edge right now.
I can't
And yeah, I can believe that. At our last podcast,
My God.
I think we were pretty well agreeing that the Tigers would not be sellers because they weren't a smart organization, but they surprised everybody.
Right.
I mean, really? I mean, whoever actually thought that they were going to trade away David Price?
Me and John talked about it last week.
You talked about it a little bit, John. You actually agreed with it?
4 weeks ago, that they would trade Yoenis.
I would have remembered that.
They traded him.
I think that was all in a figment of your imagination.
It might have been, but...
So the first trade that went down, we trade away David Price, and in return we get 3 lefties back. We get Daniel Norris, Matt Boyd, and Yarrow Libert.
What does that say?
If that's how you say his name.
What does that say about the Kroll, Gorzolani, and Blaine Hardy?
The thing with all 3 of these guys, and with all the pitching guys that they got,
God.
they're all projected as starters right now.
They all came out of Canada. I don't even care.
So
We're talking about David Price here.
Daniel Norris, he's a top 25 prospect in all Major League Baseball, and he's actually gonna, by the time this podcast comes out, he'll have made his first start for the Tigers.
Dude.
The guy, he looks like he's got some good stuff. You know, he's done pretty well in minor leagues, and in the few starts that he's had for the Blue Jays, I think he looked okay.
He's got an ERA of 3.86, 1-1.
But
he's only pitched 23 innings.
People think that he's a prospect for a reason, but. He lives in a van. He's a weird guy. He shaves with an axe.
Is that the guy?
It is.
I can live without that.
What do you think about him?
I think that by next year he should be. He should get his act together and be in the starting rotation.
John, what are your feelings on Daniel Norris?
Call him Daddy.
The bearded guy who lives in a van down by the river.
I'm excited to see what he does on Sunday. I think he's going to be someone that comes in and has a little bit of spark. In terms of making the moves, he had to do it. He had to get something, and Dave Dombrowski did what he had to do to fix what is the biggest problem with the Tigers. Pitching. I mean, how crappy is that we're scoring 6 to 7 runs and you're not even comfortable. So I'm just hoping that Norris doesn't disappoint in his first appearance. I think he'll do okay.
Dombrowski really did what he had to do. He went out and he got prospects. If we would have just had Price, Cespedes, and Soria on our team the rest of the year, we're most likely not getting anything for those guys. This way we at least get something. And from what all the experts are saying is that the Blue Jays and the Tigers kind of got the best. They both got good deals.
What a shit.
Matt Boyd is another guy who he's done really well in minor league, in AA and AAA. He could be on the rotation next year. It's a possibility.
I hope so.
That's some great feedback, Vinny.
What the hell do you want from me? We're 3 games under 500. How many games back are we the wild card? I mean, it's already over. Not that I really care. We could finish 5th in the division.
It's possible.
And I'm going to drink a
We're the only ones who are we're in front of the Indians right now.
Okay, and then the Tigers traded Joaquin Soria for a shortstop. We already have one.
We did. We traded Soria for Jacoby Jones.
Batting 239, and they're going to put him at third base, or is Dave Dombrowski Hitler?
Now the thing with that Jacoby Jones is he's still raw talent.
Oh, dude,
he is. What you look at a guy like Jose Bautista. He's a guy who took a little while to develop, and now he's one of the best hitters in the game.
I can't believe we're 3 games.
If
under
Jacoby
500,
Jones,
it's over.
We're not talking about that right now.
Why is it? I want to fire Brad Ausmus right now. Can we go to Comerica and fire him, please? Can we get rid of him?
If you want to fire Brad Ausmus, who do you want to get? Why are we going to fire him?
Dude, I'll take John right now as my manager. I'm going to cry.
So let's go back to the trade.
Let's go back to committing suicide.
Jacoby Jones. He's a raw talent. From what all the experts are saying, he's kind of like a lottery ticket. Keith Law, he was on 105.1 yesterday with Jake Chapman and Rob Parker. He called him a lottery ticket. He said that there's a chance he's got all the intangibles. He can run, he can throw, he can play multiple positions. The only thing that he really needs to work on right now is hitting. And if he can somehow figure that out, then he could be an everyday player.
Yeah, I mean, I hope so. I don't know what the hell you want from me. He's a shortstop. We already have Jose Iglesias.
Now,
I don't know what the hell they're doing.
There could be talk. They could move Iglesias over to third base.
They can move Jacoby Jones over to third base because Nick Castellanos is batting 239. I think this guy's going to be your next third baseman. Maybe he's your second baseman, and Kinsler's going to go. I don't know.
John, you want to jump in on Jacoby Jones? What's your thoughts?
I don't know what the hell you want me to say.
First of all, when they made the decision to sell, everyone was like, well, okay, now we're starting to...
I wanted them to sell, I just don't know how to take it right now.
Okay, you're still in limbo regarding what has happened.
Yes.
Now, what they've done is they've added some pieces and traded away... They've traded away David Price, they traded away Soria, and they traded away Cespedes. They've gotten guys back that have potential. So right now, as an organization... They are no longer World Series caliber. But are you okay with the fact that they have rebooted and rebuilt?
Yes.
Because you know that, yes, if you know that you have free agents and they're not going to come back, you have to get something for them. And I like the guys that they got. I believe that they've been highly ranked. Everyone across the board is saying that we've done okay. Now the issue is this. They're prospects. So we have to wait and see and determine what these guys are going to look like.
I don't want to wait.
You got to be patient. It's over. The run is over. The run is over.
It's over, isn't it?
For this year, it's over. Next year, they could be right back in it.
Oh, no.
Why not? Why couldn't they be in it next year?
Chad Ausmus.
But if you're saying that he's not going to be the manager...
I think they're going to fire him at the end of the year.
All right, so why...
This power on offense...
If they get rid of Ausmus, they still have Miguel Cabrera, they still have Victor Martinez, they're going to have Jose Iglesias, JD Martinez. You still have a good core lineup. Why, with some free agent deals, why couldn't they be in the mix next year?
Brad Ausmus, the guy's not the manager.
You're only giving me one reason why they wouldn't be able to be back into it. If the only reason is that Brad Ausmus is the manager...
Brad Ausmus, let's agree, he's a shitty manager, right? And we have nobody in the bullpen.
He's been
you just loaded your bullpen up, right? That might not pan out. Hopefully it does pan out. Hopefully this is what they need to do to get back on top. I don't know. I hope the sky's the limit for this team, but it does not look good. I don't even know who the hell these guys are. You traded David Price for a guy that I can't even pronounce his name, a guy with an ERA just south of 15 with an 0-2 record, and a guy that shaves his face with an axe. What the hell's going on?
They do have big arms, and they have the ability to get guys out.
Do you trust? Okay, what if these guys had the potential to pan out? Do you trust Brad Ausmus managing these guys?
That's a very valid point.
I don't know who you can replace Brad Ausmus with, but you can't get any worse than this. I don't give a damn how bad your bullpen is, and I know I predicted them to go 500. I know that, but with this talent, there's no reason to go 500. I said that they would go 500 because no one respected Ausmus. I said this in April, and I said that their bullpen is in shambles.
It can't all be Ausmus.
It is bad managerial decisions, when their offense doesn't hit, Jarvi, they don't win. And now it's so bad, it imploded so much, even when they are scoring runs now, they're still finding ways to lose. That's a reflection on the manager. It is. I don't care how bad your bullpen is. I really don't.
Everybody
in our starting, now that Price is gone, all our starters have an ERA south of 4. All of them. All of them. Mm-hmm. What the hell are we going to do?
Right now, but Sanchez has looked good in all the starts in the past. JV had a really good start. And I give you that. It's only one start. But if this is even him coming close to back to towards where he was, I mean, that's a good sign. So you have Sanchez and JV for the rest of the year. You have Alfredo Simon. If he can be an average pitcher, Daniel Norris, we don't know what he's going to be. He has limited starts in the big leagues. So, but from what everyone's saying is that he's going to be probably a top 3 rotation guy.
You think so?
I think so.
He's only pitched 23 innings.
That you can't base your.
He's got 18 strikeouts though.
The last trade was they traded Cespedes away to the Mets,
right.
And they got Michael Fulmer and Luis Sessa, both right-handed prospects. That was actually a smart trade because
that was genius. I wanted to trade Cespedes anyway.
I do like Cespedes, and there is a possibility he comes back next year. And I was reading on MLive that if we would have kept Cespedes, we would have had until just after the end of the World Series to get a deal done with him.
I don't trust anything that comes out of the Mets organization.
If we didn't get a deal done with him by that time, the only way we would have been able to re-sign him is if he would have sat out until May 15th. So
and threw a substantial amount of money at him.
It makes a lot more sense to trade Cespedes now.
I said at the beginning of the year he's going to take Victor Martinez's spot. Remember that? It was part of Length and Girth. You know the Length and Girth session?
Did you
have Length and Girth?
I do remember.
By the way, thank you for taking that Periscope off me before I shit my pants, because that was grueling. I was stuttering right there. And by the way, I don't know what Jarvi ate, but I went in the bathroom to extrapolate my bowels, and I think this guy shit out a baby pterodactyl in the bathroom.
I was at the station yesterday, and they had something called the Rift Backyard Barbecue.
Oh,
it was delightful.
I heard that on the radio earlier.
They had Famous Dave's and American Coney Island. I had a little bit of everything, and yeah, you got a little taste of that in the bathroom. I want to give props. I want to give props to the doc. He stepped up his toilet paper game. No more single ply. That's some quality stuff in there.
You asked, and if you ask, you shall receive.
Making that podcast money. So the trades as a whole, right now. Do you think it was good?
I don't know if it's necessarily good. It's going to take us 2 years to find out. I think it needed to be done, and I think that Dave Dombrowski put his heart and soul into it. I think he took his time. He waited till the last day to do something. So I think that he gave it his all, and I think he's going to leave the Tigers, and I think we're going to have to start over with another GM. They didn't trade Alex Avila to the Seattle Mariners for that prospect. So I think Al Avila might be your next GM. I think that Dave Dombrowski did his due diligence here in Detroit. I think he's going to leave, and I think it sucks.
I really like the trades because it's a win-win situation. If we would have kept them, we would have lost them, got nothing. This way, we at least get something where maybe these guys pan out, and that's all the prospects are. Maybe they pan out. When we got at least one good one in Daniel Norris.
Right.
This might actually be a sign that Dombrowski could be staying because.
Oh, I hope you're right.
Do you think Illich would have really let him, make all these moves? And, trade away David Price. Yoenis Cespedes.
Did I hear from your podcast that Dombrowski wants to be the owner of the Tigers? Who did I hear that from?
Not from us.
Is that hogwash?
Was that that hobo you picked up?
Yeah, it might have been.
But, at the end of this year, you were talking about that, this run is done. I know John, he made the pronouncement. I don't think it's done. For this year, yes, this is done.
You still want them to compete, though, right? And at least finish 500? Don't bottom out completely.
And I think they still are going to compete. They still have enough talent. They still have enough, and we've seen it in these past couple games where they get out to these gigantic leagues. They still have offense. So they're still going to be in this. I still think they're going to finish 500. They're not going to get in the wild card. I mean, it's possible. Maybe JV comes out the rest of the season and his lights out.
No, it's over.
It's possible. He doesn't. But next year, so without all these guys on contract, you're probably going to give a raise to JD Martinez and Jose Iglesias.
Right.
And salary cap wise, you're going to have around $40 to $50 million to play with. So if you don't bring Cespedes back, there's a host of relief pitchers, starting pitchers. You can completely rebuild the bullpen.
I agree.
I think there's a ton of people out there. And I know on another show, the Churko and Company show on Detroit Sports Podcast, he loves him some Jeff Samardzija. It's crazy. John, is he crazy, right?
I started to agree a little bit with his.
Samardzija looks like garbage against the Tigers.
He does. He looks bad against us, but he's got potential. I mean, but the issue is this, though. We're not going to get a pitcher who's going to be super high payroll. He's not going to be in the $20 million range. So, in my thinking, in the range that we're looking at to spend on a pitcher, it's going to be a Samardzija Zimmerman type.
I want to know how Jeff Samardzija got paid so much money. The guy has a horrible ERA, career ERA. He's not
Dombrowski
that good.
messed up again.
How did he mess up
He traded
this time?
Porcello to Boston
And
for Yoenis
that hasn't
Cespedes
panned out
and
yet.
Shane Green. So that was another.
It hasn't panned out for either
He failed
team.
again, and Alfredo Simon sucks too. He failed again, right, John?
No.
That was a failure.
No.
That was a failure.
Look, are you
Just
kidding
because
me?
you say stuff louder, it doesn't mean he's
Yeah,
going to agree
listen.
with you.
Well, how can you not agree with me?
Well, okay, now.
Shane Green's ERA's at 7,
Remember,
and Cespedes is gone.
Porcello stinks in Boston.
Yeah, I agree.
So we got now potentially 3 to 4 players that could be better than Porcello. So no, the Porcello trade is a good one. They paid him way too much money. They let him go, and we got a player that got us a haul of players. What are you talking about? I think that
I'm angry right now.
Yeah, I think that the Porcello trade was actually a good one for the Tigers. I agree with the trade. He wasn't a guy that was going to factor into the Tigers long term at that price, and he was inconsistent. It was good to get rid of him, and it just stinks that collectively as a whole the pitching blows.
All right, you might be right, but I'm going to say you're wrong just because I'm angry.
So Tigers next year, honestly, if they come back, they completely rebuild the bullpen. They pick up another arm. So you're looking at JV, Sanchez, Daniel Norris.
Oh,
Maybe throw in Kyle Lobstein or this Matt Boyd guy. What if he comes in the rotation? And then whoever you get through free agency, you get some better bullpen arms. Next year they're back in the race. The Twins, we completely wrote off the Twins at the beginning of the year. We completely wrote off the Astros. We said that they shouldn't even.
Oh my
be a team
God! I
in the
told him to
league.
contract them out of the league.
And they're right there. There's parity in Major League Baseball. There's no reason that the Tigers, with the talent they have, with a healthy Cabrera, with a healthy Victor Martinez, there's no reason that they won't be right back into the AL Central race.
I was right about the Cespedes thing. I want to
Why do you gotta come back to
make
that?
one more prediction before we go to break. If Daniel Norris pans out, which I think he will, you're going to start seeing a lot of Chuck Norris T-shirts in Detroit at Comerica Park. They're going to compare him to Chuck Norris.
I'm not going to take that bet because I would agree with that. The guy has a beard.
We're going to start seeing a lot of Chuck Norris shirts.
Maybe Detroit T-shirt company needs to get in on that.
We should start that right now before someone else picks up on it.
No, someone already did.
Of course.
But wasn't that? It wasn't Chuck Norris though. Though it's a good idea. They did Van Man. It's flying off the shelves. Van Man.
It's flying out the shelves. He hasn't even pitched. He hasn't thrown one pitch for us yet.
But he's got a lot of interesting. He's got an interesting personality behind him. People have kind of gravitated toward it. Living in a van in Florida. What an interesting cat. Interesting character. Different than what we see around town for sure. And I'm just hoping.
I see a lot of guys living in their van in Detroit. What do you mean?
Athletes.
Oh,
You know any athletes?
Guys who get $2 million signing bonuses.
you better be careful living in his van in Detroit.
Something tells me he's not living in a van in Detroit, Vinny. Would you visit if he invited you?
Probably not because he's got a
I
man.
would. Why?
Yeah, check it out. Check it out.
Not.
Do you guys think?
What
Do you guys think in 2 or 3 years they'll be in the playoffs?
Yes.
2 or 3 years.
Next
2 or
year
3
they'll
years.
be in the playoffs.
Yeah, next year.
I don't know. I think it might be 2 or more.
Would you take Ron Gardner right now?
Why not?
Ausmus he's got another year, right, under his contract. In his contract, I don't think Dombrowski's going to fire him because the bullpen's so dilapidated. Okay, Ausmus, it wasn't your fault. It was the bullpen's fault. We're going to give you another year. That's what I'm afraid of. I'm really afraid that he has another year.
If next year he comes back with a better bullpen, which he's never had, and he actually succeeds, are you going to say, oh, it's the bullpen, it's
I'm going to say,
not
if he
Ausmus?
succeeds, I'm going to go, oh, wow, it's about time. It's his 3rd year, and they've gotten consistently worse. You get swept by Baltimore, you come out 11-2, and now you're 3 games under 500.
Well,
And you just sold, so you're probably going to get worse.
the Tigers, there's a lot of question marks on the Tigers. Vinny is a hater.
Yeah, I'm a
but
lover.
I think they're going to be back in the running next year.
I hope
We're
so.
going to take a quick break though.
Absolutely.
And when we come back, the football season is starting. People,
dude.
get excited. We don't have to talk about the sad old Tigers.
It's time.
We can talk about the sad old Lions.
Yes.
But we'll be right back with that. And of course, we have Length of Girth. And of course, we have the Get Laid Bar of the Week, right?
Absolutely. Motor City Sports Rant, DetroitSportsPodcast.com.
Doc here for DetroitSportsPodcast.com. Check out our website to support the Detroit Sports Podcast Network. We got many shows airing every single week. The Motor City Sports Rant every single Monday. Doc and Jock every single Thursday. We just added Tigers Talk with Churko and Company coming out every single Wednesday, dedicated to Tigers baseball and news and notes in the major leagues. And this week, coming up, look for it, a new fantasy football show will be debuting on the Detroit Sports Podcast Network with the Jarvi brothers. So help keep these shows on the air by visiting our website, DetroitSportsPodcast.com. You can get tickets, you can get great sports gear all across town, and you can get discounts and save some money. If you shop online through Amazon, click through that banner link, and they'll kick us back a little something to help keep us afloat. Thank you very much. DetroitSportsPodcast.com. And now back to Jarvi the King and Vinny Stubbs on the Motor City Sports Rant.
Motor City Sports Rant, DetroitSportsPodcast.com. Jason Jarvi.
Vinny, how do you feel about the Detroit Lions?
I feel really good.
When I say Detroit Lions, what's the first word that comes to your head?
Losing.
I think cornbread or Kool-Aid probably comes to my head.
Yeah.
Because that's how I generally am. And it's not without, I like to say that I am a optimistic fan.
Right. I would say you are.
But I
would take that a step further. I would say you're sickening.
I am also realistic. I know that they lose, but that doesn't mean that I can't be optimistic. Yeah. It doesn't mean that I can't be excited about Amir Abdullah because he had a great college career. He may come in and be awesome. He could come in and be awful. Who knows?
He could come in and be awful.
But they're starting training camp on Sunday. It'll already have started by the time this podcast comes out. It's football, people.
Yeah, it is. And
Get excited.
I can't wait, especially with the Tigers.
Yeah, college football starting. It's wonderful.
Oh my God.
To start training camp, we got 3 guys already hurt. Yeah, Adrian Waddle, Jason Jones, and Joique Bell. They're all starting on the PUP list. Waddle and Bell, both of them had some procedures done after the season, and Caldwell, he's not sure exactly how long Bell's going to be out. It's a wait and see. That's what he's saying.
Yeah.
He said that he's coming along nicely, but you never know. So I think we're going to find out real quick about Amir Abdullah.
I think Bell will be fine. You drafted you got Manny Ramirez in the draft from Denver, and you drafted Tomlinson. So Adrian Waddle, I'm sorry, he's a China doll. He's hurt every year, so you can cross him out. And Jason Jones, he's hurt every year too. So that's what you're going to get from those 2 guys. You might get like 3 games out of them, and they're going to get hurt. They're going to be on injury reserve.
Adrian Waddle, I agree with you. I think he's a guy that
he's hurt
ever since he's come in the league. He's always had something. He's going out, midway towards the game.
Jason Jones too. I don't even know why he's hurt, but I guarantee you it's his knee.
I think I do believe it is his knee.
Oh, there you go.
People have been saying that he might have had a procedure done a little while ago. I'm not going to give up on him because
he's from Detroit.
He
played for Seattle.
You look at Stafford, his first 2 seasons, he didn't play a complete 2 full seasons.
Right.
But he's been able to redeem himself. I still think Jason Jones can contribute. Bell is a little bit more concerning because if for some reason, if he doesn't make the beginning of the season, you're looking at Amir Abdullah, Theo Riddick as your number 1, number 2 guy.
He's going to make the season.
I hope so.
I'm not worried about it.
And John, what do you think? Have you heard anything?
Oh, no, I'm 100% confident. He'll be there. If he misses a game or 2, it'll be okay. But I'm confident he's ready to go because he proclaimed that he was going to try to get 1,200 yards this season. So I'm thinking that he's mentally prepared. And listen, the athletes, when you become a veteran, they don't want to go through training camp. It's a grind. And I know that he's on the PUP list right now, but I fully expect that he'll be there ready to go. He's a warrior, and I think he's going to have a productive season.
Who's a warrior?
He's a Wayne State warrior.
A clown.
The one thing I would be worried about,
he's a warrior.
If he doesn't go through any training camp at all, I would be worried about him going into the first game of the season with nothing and not being football ready. Because you've seen that a number of times where guys, if they sit out for contractual reasons, they come in.
Not football shape. It's
for
totally
some
different.
reason, they get hurt. And it's awful. So get better, Joique Bell, and make sure that when you come back in, that you're ready to go. But with training camp, what do you think? What's your biggest question going into the camp?
Mine?
Yes.
I got a lot of them. I don't know. I want to see how that offensive line pans out. And I want to see how much of a hit the secondary and the linebacking core take from Sue and Fairley being gone.
I know you talk big about offensive and defensive line. You talked at length about it in previous podcasts. So I think you're right. So you think the line, D line or offensive line, is really the biggest question?
Yeah. And Matt Stafford.
What do you want to see from the defensive line? I
want to see them. The sacks are going to go down. There's no doubt about it. I still want to see them rushing the quarterback,
right,
to make the quarterback panic and look. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think it'll be.
I want them to rush the quarterback.
It'll be interesting to see what you get from Haloti Ngata and Tyron Walker
I don't think you're going to get much.
It'll be a wait and see. Because Haloti Ngata, he's no slouch.
I just want pressure on the quarterback.
Pro.
I just want pressure so the secondary and the linebacking core can continue to do its job.
And on the offensive line side, I mean, obviously they have to get Stafford more time.
I agree. And on paper, it looks like they could do that, but who knows? I don't know. Those guys are very young, and we'll see. I got him going 8-8, but I think the sky's the limit. I think Matt Stafford, this has got to be his last year. I mean, I'm so sick and tired of it. He's been here for 7 years, playing a playoff game. They're giving him a lot of hype this year, so you better do something on national television. You got 7 games. You better do your damn job.
You want to start ripping on Matt Stafford?
I don't want to rip on Matt Stafford. I like Matt Stafford. I'm sick and tired of it. I had enough.
So, but your biggest thing, though, is that he hasn't won a playoff game, right?
Yeah.
All right, so would you rather have him or would you rather have Carson Palmer?
I'd rather have Matt Stafford. We kind of already went through this.
All right, Palmer is 0-2.
Listen, I blew Stafford over all those guys.
Cam Newton?
I'd rather have Stafford.
Okay, Cam Newton is only 1-2.
He's got a playoff win.
He has one playoff win.
He's still got one.
Matt Ryan.
Wow.
He's 1-4 in the playoffs.
You know what? I'm going to take a huge hit on this, and I don't care what anybody says. I'd rather have Matt Stafford than Matt Ryan. So I don't know why. I know you're sick to your stomach that I just said that.
It's hard to really.
I really would rather.
It's hard to say then that this is Stafford's last year. If you're going to take him over
all, it's not his last year in the organization. It's his last year with me because I've had enough.
Okay, and thank you for clarifying that.
Let me clarify that right now. I'd still grab his butt, but he needs to get a playoff win.
My biggest question in training camp is it's the secondary, and like you, I think there's a lot of questions, but I think my biggest thing that I want to see is the secondary.
Right.
That was it was a strong point last year. In my lifetime, I've never seen a secondary with the Detroit Lions. It's always been just Swiss cheese.
I've never seen it.
People have been able to shred it. Brett Favre has destroyed us. Dante Culpepper and Randy Moss. I have nightmares about those days.
I've never seen their secondary do that good.
So
the only time they were torched was against the Patriots.
We probably have one of the best safety duos with Glover Quinn.
I agree.
And James Ahedebo.
Yes.
The real question to start with the cornerbacks.
I think
Darius Slay, he's a good cornerback. I think he's still improving too. I think he's going to be able to step up his game.
I'm starting to think that was Martin Mayhew's best draft pick.
Rashean Mathis. You know, he's aging. He was serviceable last year.
Can we edit that guy's game out?
But I think Rashean Mathis, he's going to be key in bringing along the next guy, Alex Carter, who we spent a third-round draft pick.
I remember drafting him in the third round.
So I think somewhere in the middle of this season, Alex Carter is going to take over the job for Rashean Mathis.
You think so? I don't know about that.
If he progresses along, he's a smart guy. He has all the skills. If he can figure it out, I think Alex Carter generally he gives away, and it may be like a platoon.
Hey, didn't we just pick up Taylor Mays? The Lions got Taylor Mays. You know that, right? You know they picked him up off the free agency like
I remember seeing something. I don't remember actually seeing if they signed him.
You want to look that up for me?
But
no, I don't.
Outside of the cornerback, or then you also have Josh Wilson, who they brought in. He's a veteran. He's probably going to make the lineup. Just give some depth. Nevin Lawson is coming in off an injury. God. And then there's been a lot of talk about Quandre Diggs, who's another guy who we got in the draft. He's from Texas, and people are saying that they really like his raw talent. And I think he's an interesting person. I think he could be really kind of fit that nickel cornerback. So if you're talking our secondary of the future, we got Darius Slay, Alex Carter, and Quandre Diggs. If those guys all pan out, you could have a really good secondary. And I know Darius Slay had his comments where he saying that we could be as good as the Legion of Boom. Why couldn't they be?
I'll tell you why. No. Maybe they will. Maybe Terrell Austin's your guy. They looked really good last year. Listen, I'm very pessimistic when it comes to the Lions, but I will be honest with you right now. Terrell Austin did a phenomenal job with that Lions defense, and I've never seen their secondary and linebacking core play that good, ever. They had a good defensive line ever since Jim Schwartz took over with Van den Bosch and Sue, but their secondary and their linebacking core got torched every single game at least one time with the deep ball, and I didn't see that this year. I don't think Legion of Boom, but it could be a poor man's version of the Legion of Boom because of Terrell Austin, and the guy is literally a genius. I have nothing bad to say about that guy. With all the bad things about the Lions organization, he is a bright spot, and I really, really, really love that guy.
I really do think that they could develop into as good as the Legion of Boom.
No.
Because hear me out. So who are the main three guys in the Legion of Boom?
Chancellor,
Chancellor.
Sherman and Maxwell's in Philadelphia, ain't he?
It's Earl Thomas is that last
Earl
guy.
Thomas. He was supposed to draft Earl Thomas, but they got Nate Allen
So you got
instead.
those three guys, your main guys.
Right.
Darius Slay, he could develop into as good as Richard Sherman.
I don't know about that.
Why not? And then we have just as good as safeties with Glover Quinn and Earl Thomas, or Glover Quinn and James Ahedabo.
Right.
So, and always that second cornerback they've kind of rotated. They had Maxwell, they had Browner. I think it's completely possible.
Yeah.
What do you think, John? I know that you kind of spoke out about it, and I want to get your take. But after hearing what I said, don't you think those are at least comparable, or the Lions could develop into that?
Now, I want to get to the point with I want to address what Vinny said. Yes, the Lions did sign Taylor Mays. They filled one of their 2 open roster spots with safety Taylor Mays. Second-round pick. He was a former second-round pick of the 49ers in 2010.
Yeah, he was the
guy. Fastest safety at the 2010 Combine. 40-yard dash in 4.43 seconds. Spent the last 4 seasons with Cincinnati, but he only made 4 starts along the way, so they're going to give him a chance.
Yeah,
okay.
He was a really good guy in college that I would have loved to draft, but it's probably good that we didn't.
Mm-hmm. Now, in speaking in terms of can the defense become Seattle-like? Is that what you're talking about? Becoming like Legion of Boom?
Now, when you say Legion of Boom, it's the secondary.
Okay.
The Legion of Boom isn't the entire defense.
Okay, it's secondary. I do believe I like the attitude going into it, saying that yes, Seattle is the best. They had a great secondary, and Richard Sherman was a guy that would talk a lot of trash and would back it up. And I think that that's the goal, but it's just consistency. Can the Lions actually get to that? And in key situations, remember, in the NFC, who's the gatekeeper? Green Bay. And who has some success against us from time to time? Green Bay and Aaron Rodgers. So we have success versus teams that without top level quarterbacks. But the question is with this defense, when it's time to play the big time opponents, can the defense and the secondary shut down a quarterback? No. And my answer is, and I agree with Vinny. No. So that's why they're not the Legion of Boom, and I don't agree versus the top echelon teams. And we're going to face them early. You're going to see real fast.
You're going to see a 7-9, 8-8 product.
You're going to see.
You ain't going to be happy about it, Jason. I know you love the Lions, buddy, but dude,
Phillip Rivers, Peyton Manning, Russell Wilson. Early in the season,
you guys are going to get defecated on.
You're going to see pretty quickly what the
Matt Stafford is going to have the ball out of his mind this year.
You're going to see what the secondary has versus those teams.
I'm going to tell you right now, August 1st, I bet you they win the majority of those games.
I think their secondaries, it's not going to be like damn like last year, but it's not bad anymore. It's not inept by any stretch of the imagination, and it's a little bit above average. But the defensive line taking a hit like that, the secondary is going to struggle a bit. And you're going to get exposed a lot more, especially on national televised games. You got 7 of them.
Yeah, but don't discount.
I'm not discounting
Levy.
anything.
Don't discount Levy. Don't discount the pressure that you're going to get from
Levy and
Ziggy
Whitehead.
Ansah.
I'm not discounting those guys.
Don't discount that. That a little bit more pressure from those guys.
Those guys are phenomenal.
Okay.
I want all those guys to return. I'm not discounting them. I'm just saying it is what it is. It really is. You're going to get exposed by these good teams, these good quarterbacks, and good fundamentally sound organizations that are coached with good coaches and good personnel. And the Lions, they're second tier, man. I'm sorry. They really are. Well, and I think the sky's the limit, man. I really do. They're getting better, but you never know. With Jim Caldwell's track record, he gets worse each and every year. They did good last year. They went 11-5, but they're on the decline. They could be on the decline, man. They really could. They can go 8-8, 7-9. Look at Jim Caldwell's track record. We already went over it.
Are you discounting the elevation and progression of a Kyle Van Noy, of a Ziggy Ansah?
We haven't seen anything out of Kyle Van Noy last year. Did he even play special teams last year?
No, that's what I'm saying.
The only guy that elevated his game last year that we still have on our roster was Tahir Whitehead and Darius Slay. Besides that, what?
You got Stephen Tulloch returning. We got to see what he's going to look like,
dude.
So I
don't know about that guy.
I think that you're overly critical of defense and a little bit too nervous.
I agree.
Yes, there should be concern. I just think the level of concern that you're showing and talking about is a little bit too much. I think the defense has a chance.
10 times harder than it was last year.
Well, I think you have a right to be pessimistic. I think I have a right to be optimistic.
I'm being real. I'm telling you what's going to happen.
You're telling me that they're going to get torched in the beginning of the season.
I said that you're going to be playing some really good teams, and you're not going to like it. Let's put it that way, okay?
Well, I will disagree with you. But since we were talking about Seattle, let's move on to some more news from the NFL this week. Russell Wilson just signed a gigantic contract.
He deserves it.
He signed a 4-year, $87.6 million contract with
Oh my God! on.
$61 million guaranteed.
Dude, he's a winner.
A lot of times when people sign these gigantic contracts, there isn't that much guaranteed money. So, like, I think Cam Newton, he had a gigantic contract, but he only got so much guaranteed money.
Right.
This guy is almost getting like 3/4 of his salary guaranteed.
That's kind of disgusting.
Oh,
my God.
It's huge.
Enough of the
He's
job
the
fair.
second highest paid player now, right behind Aaron Rodgers. I think it's a huge mistake.
You think it's disgusting. What if he would have got that touchdown in the Super Bowl? He would have got even more.
Probably.
He'd really be throwing up.
I think it's a huge mistake. It's similar to the whole Sue contract.
That is too much
There's
money.
no way that the
How are they
guy
gonna hold
lives
that
up
team
to this
together?
contract.
Don't you open your mouth about the best.
Shut up with Richard Sherman. That's a dumb. He hates you hate your job. I hate that job.
It is pretty
You hate your the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory job.
What? You don't like pushing the great Richard Sherman? Who that was just the best thing ever. He just crapped all over. Who was it? Crabtree, and he just busted out with, "Don't you open your mouth about the best." That's the greatest drop
Richard
ever.
Sherman
is a monster.
I love it.
God.
He really is a ferocious
Anyways,
monster.
Aaron Rodgers, that guy deserves $22 million a year. That guy, he carries the Packers. Without Aaron Rodgers, they're nothing. And like we've seen in seasons past, when he's out, they have a hard time adjusting. Russell Wilson, if you have an adequate backup, they're probably still doing okay. Because all that they're really doing, he's managing a game. They have Marshawn Lynch, and they have a good offensive line. They run the ball. They're one of the teams who runs the ball the most in the league. And like we talked, they have arguably the best defense in the league. So Russell Wilson, I don't think he deserves to get paid more than.
I think he got paid too much. Yeah.
He doesn't deserve to get paid more than Matt Stafford.
Hell no. But he wins Super Bowls though, man, and playoff wins. That's big.
He's a game manager though.
He's
not
tremendous. I don't think he deserves that much money.
I think this is part of the whole thing where quarterbacks get too much credit for wins.
Listen, well, because they get defecated on when they lose, do they not?
They do.
When the Seahawks got Pete Carroll and they drafted Russell Wilson when they had Matt Flynn at quarterback, I was like, this is the worst team I've ever seen in my life. What the hell are they doing in Seattle? And was I wrong? Wow. They are tremendous. I don't think Russell Wilson deserves that much money.
I think he
deserves to make more than Matt Stafford because he wins playoff games. Matt Stafford's got a freakish arm. He's very inconsistent and doesn't win playoff games.
I'll give you that. But I don't think he deserves to get paid over $20 million. Let me get you out a list of the highest playing players. So right now, he's getting paid more than Ben Roethlisberger. What do you think? Ben Roethlisberger, he's making just over Ben.
How many playoff games has Ben Roethlisberger won in the last 2 years?
He's won 2 Super Bowls.
He has won 2 Super Bowls. What have you done for me lately?
He's making more than Cam Newton.
Okay.
He's making more than Matt Ryan.
Okay.
Joe Flacco.
Okay.
Drew Brees.
Okay.
If you're starting a team with a quarterback, though, would you want all of those guys after Russell Wilson?
I would want Russell Wilson because he wins. He's a warrior. He's competitive. He wins all the time. He's a leader.
Okay, then put Russell Wilson.
I want him.
Put Russell Wilson on the Lions.
They're in the Super Bowl.
Does he deserve that money then?
He might have a playoff win by now.
Mm-hmm. What? You're ridiculous.
You don't think he would have beat Dallas last year?
No. He doesn't have any arm.
Refresh my memory. What was the?
Might be right.
Was the game where they came back? Was it versus Green Bay, where they were down big time in the second half, or was it versus Dallas? You remember
who?
I think it was
Russell
Green
Wilson.
Bay.
Yeah, the game where they
was
down.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Last year in the divisionals or the championship. Yeah, they were down big. They were down by double digits, and they came back and won.
And that's why, like I said, Russell Wilson's a decent quarterback. And when you say
he wins games,
listen,
you think
Jason,
Stafford would have came back and won that game in Lambeau? They haven't won in Lambeau in 23 years.
when you say just a game manager, it's not that easy to do, man. We're trying to make Stafford a game manager. You can't do it. They tried to last
manage
year.
the rallies.
He does not deserve over $20 million.
Well, I said 4 years, 80, but 87 is a good number. He's going to be paid big time in 4
That's a
years.
lot of money.
It's going to set a further precedent, though.
Yeah, I know.
Andrew Luck,
That's
Andrew
what's bad
Luck,
about
his
it.
contract's coming up. How much money is he going to make?
He's going to get 5 years, $200 million. Look out.
I bet he makes at least $100 million. I mean, he's probably going to get $25 million a year because that guy, if you think Russell Wilson is a good quarterback, Andrew Luck is a great quarterback.
Yeah, they don't have a defense.
And with Russell Wilson making this kind of money, this drops Matt Stafford. He's the 12th highest paid quarterback right now.
That's about right.
That's perfect.
Right. I mean, and I know people, they roasted the Lions when they gave him all that money, and I think it's justified now.
Right.
Because it's what you got to pay.
You did save money. The reason why everyone's all up in arms regarding the contract is you extended him to big money with him without proving nothing. What did he prove? He's a guy that, yes, had a 5,000-yard season and
speaks volumes of the organization because they're afraid to replace him.
They
struck oil with this guy, but he's still inconsistent.
You gave him an extension early based on the fact that you were scared that he might leave, or the fact that maybe it was preventative. In terms of what you're saying, the perception is the reason why people are mad is because he got big money and the results don't indicate that. That's what I'm saying.
All right, I'll slightly disagree with that, but that's all I got on Lions.
That's pretty much all I got on life.
Yeah. So we're gonna take another break.
Yep.
We come back. Obviously, we have our best segment coming up.
Motor City Sports Rant, DetroitSportsPodcast.com.
FanaticU.com, Detroit Sports official outfitter and the official outfitter of the Detroit Sports Podcast. Go visit FanaticU.com. Check out their great, massive selection of hats, T-shirts. If you go shop at FanaticU.com and shop online, use promo code DSP and you can save 15% off your entire order. Everything in the shop is eligible for the discount. FanaticU.com, use the promo code DSP, and you save 15%. FanaticU.com, Detroit Sports official outfitter. Now back to the Motor City Sports Rant with Vinny Stubbs and Jason the King Jarvi.
Motor City Sports Rant, DetroitSportsPodcast.com. Jason Jarvi.
Now, before we get into our best subject, I gotta bring up Jim Harbaugh. I've hated on him on this podcast the entire time, and they had Big Ten Media Days this week. He was so ridiculous. That would be a better interview than what he actually goes up there and does. Part of it is the media. They're tossing him softballs. They're asking him ridiculous questions. But part of it has to be that they know that if they ask him a serious question, that he's gonna be Harbaugh. He's an adjective now.
There was a lot of talk this week about athletes and talking to the media. Miguel Cabrera refused to talk to Ryan Armani, and there was tweets going back and forth. Jim Harbaugh doesn't. Definitely, he treats talking to the media like it's a painful chore, like he's super constipated. And when he gets up there, the media is like a little bit nervous that they don't want to ask a question that's going to result in a video going viral or them being embarrassed. So they ask ridiculous questions about his trip and things like that. And then when they do finally get a chance to ask him a question, he just kind of skirts around it.
Yeah, one of the questions they asked him about what he needed to change when he got here, and he ends up talking about were you here in the 70s when they had the Big Ten tour bus? He's like, I guess I must be too old for all that. And he goes off in this ridiculous story. It means nothing. He didn't answer the question.
What a maniac.
So, and
you know what's going to be fun to watch, though? Michigan is going to be featured on WXYZ Channel 7 every single week. And it's going to be interesting to see how he's going to respond to those questions.
They're not going to talk to him.
You don't think he's going to be on there a lot?
I think they're going to figure out real quick that they need to talk to somebody else. But, I mean, I'm not a Michigan fan. Again, I'll preface that. For Michigan fans, what is the one thing that you want to find out for this upcoming year?
Two things, quarterback and running back.
It's quarterback.
Yeah.
You have a million quarterbacks on your team right now. Is it going to be Shane Morris? Is it going to be Alex Malzone? Is it going to be Wilton Spite? Is it some other nameless guy? Alvin Gentry? It's not Alvin Gentry. Alex, whatever his name is.
Malzone.
So nobody asked him about his quarterback. D'Antonio gets grilled about being rivals with Ohio State. Urban Meyer gets grilled about the suspensions that were handed down on his players. And Jim Harbaugh gets asked about what he feels about, driving the same route that Bo Schembechler drove to work every day.
Maybe is it one of those things where they want to kind of, what do they say, ingratiate themselves to him by asking him kind of easy questions, be nice, get to it's like one of those things where when you're first meeting someone, you don't just go in there and just be like, blah, 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 all these, talk about all the scabs with the Michigan program. I think the media is trying to kind of be nice at first, try to get in his good graces, because coming off of that Cowherd interview, it was really tense and terse, and it was a situation where You don't want to have that happen when you're asking a question. You just want to get
the Tigers
information.
are so shitty.
It's about getting information and getting access. And you don't want to lose access by asking a dumb question. You don't want to be embarrassed in front of your peers.
Two things. One, it's the media's job to do that. That's what they're paid to do. They're supposed to get the information for the fans, and that's what they're supposed to do.
Right. They would do that. But Jason, you know that, and you saw it with David Price and his interactions with Lynn Hennig. The media knows that it's about access. And if you ask a question that, for whatever reason, rubs Coach the wrong way, your name will show up on a sheet, and you might not be able to be at the press conference. So that's why I love this. I do not want to be a journalist and try to get in good graces with athletes who don't want to talk to you, or with coaches. These guys have to walk that fine line of asking the questions like you want and like I want, and not pissing off an athlete who will just say, "Oh, who's that? Is that Doc? That's a ridiculous question." Boom, cross him off the list. I show up the next time to ask my question. You don't have a credential, boss. Get the hell out of here.
Oh, then how long do you have to softball him questions? Are you going to have to softball him for a few years? Because I feel like Jim Harbaugh is a guy who, when you ask him a dumb question, you're never, ever going to get something out of him ever again. I think he had a talk show when he was with the 49ers, and 1 week, it was a bad interview, and it was done from there.
Yeah, but remember the context of the talk. He had 15 minutes to talk to the media. It's one of those things where they're not breaking down a game. They're not breaking down his decisions. They're just kind of asking questions about where the program's at and how it's being built. So there really wasn't a lot of information you could glean from it. And the issue is this. He probably wouldn't reveal it anyway because it's probably an open competition still with the quarterbacks and the running backs. He's still got to see who the heck's going to be out there. I don't think I bet you at this point in time, as this podcast comes out, he doesn't have his official depth chart out there for the public to analyze. He doesn't have it yet.
No, but I'd at least like to see him comment on it. Yeah. Urban Meyer, they asked him about their QB competition, how Braxton Miller is going to fit into their offense. They asked Antonio about the Heisman hype around Connor Cook. Well, why can't they ask those similar questions? That's all I'm saying. I think it's poor. It's
poor journalistic work.
Poor journalistic work
from what you saw.
It sucks that that's how Harbaugh is. Like, that's not how I'd want my coach to be. Like, I'd hate, and I know some Michigan fans, they hate it. Like, they think that was an embarrassment. But let's get happier again. Let's get Vinny back involved.
Oh my God.
We're gonna do the best segment that we have on this show.
Yes, it's time for Length or Girth.
We're going to switch it up a little bit
Please,
this week.
Take it.
Vinny.
Take the length and the girth.
He's so sad about the Tigers right now. I'm going to take over the length or girth duties for this week. We're going to switch it up. So, question one. Length or girth?
Ooh, here it goes.
Joik Bell. He had a procedure done at the end of the year on his knee, possibly his Achilles.
Not good.
He's on the PUP list to start training camp. Length or girth? How long is he going to stay on this PUP list?
I want to go girth. I think that it's microscopic. It's not even a big deal. I think it's just something to talk about. He's going to miss a little bit of training camp, but he'll be here for the preseason. And the Lions are going to go 7-9. So I'm going to go girth. Jason Jarvi.
It's really hard to tell. I'm going to say girth because they may have just put him on here just for precaution. And I'm hoping that's all that it is. And until we hear more, then I'm just going to keep saying girth.
Girth.
So, question 2.
Love girth.
Number 2. Dose. Length or girth. The Tigers traded away a lot of their free agents, and I know it's a touchy subject. No more David Price, no more Yoenis Cespedes.
This is bad.
Dave Dombrowski came out. He said that we're in a reboot mode. And that he thinks that a lot of these moves that we made are going to put us in a position to be right back in it in 2016. Length or girth, Vinny? Are the Tigers rebuild? Is it going to be a lengthy one or a girthy one?
Noises
if you can convey length or girth through noises, then yes.
Girth.
Oh, so you think they're going to be right back in it next year?
Yeah, next year. Yes, I do. I hope that Brett Osmus is gone and they got a guy that can actually manage a game. And their bullpen is going to be stronger. Who knows? I don't like doing deals with the Mets. I don't like National League pitchers. Who knows? But I'm going to go girth. And hopefully your boy with that shaves his face of the next is a genius. What's his name? Daniel Norris. I want to go girth.
I'm going to go girth as well. I think they have the prospects they got, I think they're going to at least have 1 or 2 rotation guys from there. They still have Miguel Cabrera. They still have Victor Martinez. They're going to give raises to JD and give it to Iglesias. We're going to be in good shape next year. I think we'll be right in the race for the AL Central. We might be looking at a wild card next year, but we're going to be in that race.
Our offense is still scary enough to keep us around, right? In the race for the rest of the year, right?
Definitely.
Come on.
It's gonna be the same thing that it's been. I've been saying it the last couple times I've been on here. They're an average team.
Oh.
They're gonna have days that they're gonna amaze you, and they're gonna have days that you hate your life.
Oh,
And that's gonna be the rest of the season.
David.
Question 3.
Oh, yeah.
Length or girth? Ronda Rousey, UFC 190, fighting in, I don't even know who she's fighting, because it doesn't really matter, because she's Ronda Rousey,
right?
And she's ridiculous.
Yes.
So, is she gonna win this, or is she gonna? Does she continue her reign over women's UFC, or is it over?
I'm gonna let John get in on this, but I will say, she's really hot, and if she was to get butt naked, I would just love it, and I don't care as long as she's naked. God, I would love to see her butt naked. Wouldn't you love to see her naked?
Didn't you do an ESPN the new?
She's
did it.
so hot.
Go check it out.
She would destroy you.
Yeah, she would. She'd kick my ass in the
You'd let her.
and I'd let her.
I was going to ask you before I answer.
Oh, my God.
I was going to ask you, Vinny, could you handle a woman who was tough like that kind of had a strength and was doing like jiu-jitsu and MMA and be in a relationship with women like
John,
that?
I don't think you understand what I go through on a daily basis. So, I think I could go through that.
Oh, are you saying that the relationship that you're in now is similar?
I get punches and jiu-jitsu towards my brain every day, so I think I can handle the physical aspect of the relationship.
God!
Exactamundo.
So the current relationship status is on.
It's hanging on by a pube hair.
It's on. Okay, no, definitely length. She's going to dominate. I mean, 3 fights, 90 seconds. She's able to get in the ring, handle her business, go out and do movies. She's a PR, she's a public relations dream. She's great looking. She's a tough chick, and she's great to watch in the ring because you know it's going to be an armbar. Simple. She goes in there, handles her business, and you don't want to mess with her.
I couldn't give her length or girth, but I would really love to try.
Man, she's a tough chick, and she's actually become, it's such a fascinating story because Dana White was so adamant women will not fight in the UFC. Just like 3-4 years ago, she comes in, and that whole division has been reshaped. And women in the UFC
So you think that's taking over the UFC? Okay, check it out. Are you going to watch it? Are you going to pay for it?
I would watch it.
I'm not
I would
go
to Buffalo Wild Wings and I would watch it.
No, you wouldn't.
I will definitely tune in. I'm not going to pay for it, but I'll watch it.
Okay, if the Tigers are on, and they're relevant, and they're 10 games over 500, or Ronda Rousey's fighting, and she's not naked, what are you watching? Length or girth?
I'd probably watch Ronda Rousey.
Oh my God!
I'd watch it.
Cord.
I'd watch. Jason, come on! I watch the Tigers.
That's crazy. She's not even naked for crying out loud.
Because you can catch the highlights. It's going to be a quick fight, 30 seconds. You can catch it anytime. Tigers.
I'm not paying for it. I'm not going to pay for it. Like I said, I'd go to B-Dubs and I'd watch it there.
God, I'd love to make her.
But to answer the length or girth question,
I know. I was waiting for that.
Length. She's going to win this one.
Yeah. Okay. Length.
I'm not even sure if it's going to get out of the first round.
Yeah. No, I won't. Length. Armbar. Book it.
That'll do it. For this additional length or girth, it'll be back to normal next week. Don't worry.
Or girth. We're just trying new things out.
Oh, here. Hold on.
There it is.
Oh, there it is.
What are you doing? I already have bad eyes. I have to read where I would take Ronda Rousey. If I had one chance with Ronda Rousey,
where would you take her?
God, she's so hot. I can't even concentrate. I'll take her to the Get Laid Bar of the Week. The Get Laid Bar of the Week, Sean O'Culligan's 821 Penniman Avenue, Plymouth, Michigan 48170. A Victorian-style pub host, Celtic Jarvi, bands and dishes up, party, Irish, fare like boxy alongside pub grub. I don't know what the hell that means, but listen, women love these kind of atmospheres. And you're going to get laid, whether you like it or not. 4-to-1 woman to dude ratio, and I promise you will get some guy. Lie. Tell me you make a handsome salary and you gross over $80,000 a year. I don't give a damn. Just get laid. Motor City Sports Radio, DetroitSportsPodcast.com. Jarvi. Oh my God!
The women love the Celtic bands.
That's how you do it. Celtic, whatever. Length or girth. Ronda Rousey's butt cheeks in my face.
Vinny, you said you're going fishing after this podcast?
Yeah,
What's up?
I'm going to a lake. I'm going fishing. I went fishing 2 days ago. I had a largemouth bass on my line, and he pretty much just laughed in my face. Broke my line, and I almost cried. It was the only fish that I had all night. I was really pissed off, so I'm going back to get my my redemption on this fish. Hopefully I find the same one. He's got a hook in his mouth. I used a bobber and I used a night crawler and a little bit of weight, casted it out there over by the lilies. Fish grabbed it. My brother's like, oh my God, you got a sea bass. Because seaweed. I was like, no, dude, I got a fish on here. Check this out. And I'm a rookie at it. So I reeled him in too fast. And he jumped up out of the water and dove right down and broke my line. And I literally cried. So I'm going to go out there and try to catch some more fish.
And everyone definitely check out, I know the podcast will already be out, but definitely check out Jarvi, the King, and Dennis Farrell on the Fantasy Sideline Football Show 105.1, Sunday mornings, 8 o'clock. I loved it. I feel like I got the knowledge.
You deserve it, buddy.
Yes, it was good stuff.
You.
It was it was a great debut episode.
8 to 10 a.m., 105.1. We'll probably have some guests on this week. And, we'll answer all your fantasy questions.
Don't forget about me. If you ever make it big and I don't, if you want to destroy something, call me.
I will.
Okay. And then also, too, you can, and don't forget, you can get in on a fantasy league with Jarvi the King. You can get into a fantasy football league with Dennis Farrell, Jason Jarvi from 105.1. Listen in, tune in every Sunday online, the Detroit Sports 105.1 app.
You're the man. You're the man, baby.
Jarvi the King. At Jarvi the King on Twitter. At Vinny Stubbs on Twitter.
No, you don't have to follow me.
Vinny will follow you.
Yeah, I'll follow you.
What do you got going on the rest of the weekend?
I think I'm going to go to an art fair on Sunday.
Jason, come on.
Hey, I'm married. I got to do those kind of things.
Art fair.
Man, being married, you got some balls. If I got told to go to an art fair, I'd be like, listen, I'm sick.
Hey, whatever.
Art fair.
They have a really good. They have this place called Blimpies. They have
Blumpkins.
Blimpies.
Oh.
They have sliders and it's delicious.
Ooh. What the hell are you laughing at, John? What are you doing this weekend?
Next week.
Looking at Kendra Luss on your phone?
No, teaser. Next week, you went to the famous deli in Ann Arbor. Next week, I want to hear.
Yeah,
I want to hear about it.
It was delicious.
Next week, tune in to the Motor City Sports Rant next week. We'll what's it called again?
Zingerman's.
Check us out, Motor City Sports Rant.
DetroitSportsPodcast.com.
Okay, nice, idiot. You. Bye-bye.
Toodaloo, motherfucker.
Good day, sir. I said good day.
All right. Take care now. Bye-bye then.
Loser.
Bo Schembechler.